Hey everybody, welcome back to Movies and That. I'm your host Cody, and happy December, everybody. The holiday season is upon us. Christmas is coming up. So I wanted to do today's video on my favorite Christmas movies, specifically my top 10 favorite Christmas movies. So I'm going to rank them, obviously, from 10 to first, and I'm going to throw in a couple honorable mentions in here as well, because I feel like there were a good amount of movies that I really wish I could have put in my top 10 that just unfortunately couldn't make the cut. So I'm going to add in a couple honorable mentions here and go from there. So hope you all enjoy, and Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, of course. So let's go ahead and get started here. So I'm going to do two honorable mentions to start this out. So the first honorable mention is going to be Die Hard 2. So I love the Die Hard trilogy. Die Hard 1 is revered as a Christmas classic for the most part, and Die Hard 2 is set on Christmas Eve, but it's not held up to the same standard in terms of a Christmas movie like the first one is. But nonetheless, it's still an awesome movie, badass, great action flick, and it's John McClane, right? It's him, and he's doing all of his things that he did in the first one here in the second one, and it's on Christmas. I like that movie. Whenever I'm watching Die Hard at Christmas time, it's typically only the first one. I'll watch the second one, of course, if it's on, maybe like back to back if they're doing something like that. But it's not one that I just like go and reach and put in and watch. I will do that with the first one, but not with the second one. But nonetheless, it's still a great movie. It's fun, and it's still set on Christmas. So I just want to make sure it's a good honorable mention there. So the second honorable mention is going to be Jingle All the Way. So as a kid, I always loved this movie because I was a big Arnold Schwarzenegger fan. Still am for the most part. But to me, as I've gotten older, like the comedy and stuff's still there. I still have a good time with it. But as like a Christmas movie, I know it's set with, the whole holiday shopping season rush, the hot hit new toy with Turbo Man. Everybody's going to get that. It's sold out everywhere. Arnold Schwarzenegger, he can't find it anywhere for his son, so him and Sinbad are actually fighting for like the last one over like this radio show, and they're pulling all the stops out to try and get their kid a Turbo Man. But other than that, like it doesn't feel like it doesn't have like a whole lot of Christmas atmosphere, in my opinion. Even the parade at the end. It's a Christmas parade, but I don't know. There's just something about it that I don't feel all that Christmassy, I guess. Like for example, like Jingle All the Way is a movie like I could catch on TV in July or August or whatever, in the summertime, and actually sit there and watch it and not like really like get mad that it's a Christmas movie, because again, like it just doesn't have that same feel that a lot of these other ones do. But it's still a fun movie. I do love the characters. I love the story. I have a good time with it. It shows kind of consumerism and what Christmas has turned into, and loses sight of family and love and joy and all that stuff. And that's what, makes up for it in the end. With Arnold Schwarzenegger actually becoming Turbo Man and saving his son and, getting his family back together and things like that. So, it's a great movie at the end of the day, but, not good enough to make my top 10, and definitely not as good as Die Hard 2. All right, guys, let's jump into the actual ranking here. My top 10 Christmas movies. Again, this is my opinion. Please comment yours down below. So let's go ahead and get started. So coming in at number 10 is going to be A Miracle on 34th Street, and that is the 1994 one. I wasn't a huge fan of this movie when I was younger. I actually really didn't watch it all the way through. Well, let me back up. I did watch it all the way through when I was younger, but didn't care for it then. It wasn't my thing, wasn't my style. But as I got older, I actually finally, enough to understand everything that was going on, watched it all the way through, and I really enjoyed it. If I would have done this list 5 years ago, I don't even think I would have made this movie an honorable mention, let alone being on my top 10. But I really do like this movie. I love the message behind it, the meaning, the characters. David Attenborough as Santa Claus, like that's cool. Like he's portraying Santa as the department store Santa, but he's actually Santa Claus. And the little girl, she's trying to get everybody to realize that, and he's a good guy. And then, you know, he's getting in trouble, and there's this whole court and, you know, criminal trial going on. And, you know, I love the mother. I love, you know, the mother's boyfriend, who is the lawyer. You know, it's very 90s, too. I love that tone and aspect to it. You know, just something about 90s movies. They just have a great feel to them. And this one's definitely that as well. But yeah, Miracle on 34th Street is a very wholesome Christmas movie, and you know, I think everybody should make it a part of their Christmas watches. So coming at number 9 is going to be Christmas with the Cranks. I've always loved this movie. I remember when it came out back in 2004. Actually, my grandma, out of all people, got this movie for me because I liked the Santa Claus and like Tim Allen. I love Jamie Lee Curtis from the Halloween movies, so it kind of matched up. So it's a pretty funny movie. I mean, you got Jamie Lee Curtis and Tim Allen, husband and wife. They just shipped their daughter out. So they're like empty nesters, and they don't want to be alone for Christmas. They want to just focus on themselves. They go on it. They plan on taking a cruise. Well, their daughter's coming back home for the holidays, and it's like a last-minute thing. And they're like, okay, we need to cancel our cruise. We are throwing our Christmas party like we do every year, and we need to get this ready in a short amount of time. And they had nothing set up. So it's just like this whole movie of just, you know, racing against time to get prepared for Christmas, get prepared for their daughter to come home, to make it look like that they were never going to leave. And another thing, I think it's Frosty, it is. I believe it's Frosty that Tim Allen puts up every year. And, you know, am I thinking about another movie? I don't know. But anyways, at any rate, you know, he's racing to put up his Christmas decorations, and he needs a tree and all this stuff, and he actually steals his next door neighbor's tree because he doesn't have one. Gets caught for doing that. The neighborhood, Dan Aykroyd's character? He's kind of like the neighborhood boss or whatever, leader, and he's giving Tim Allen a hard time for not being set up for Christmas, not having decorations out, and yeah. But anyways, at the end, they get everything together. The neighborhood pulls together for Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis, and daughter comes home. They have like this police escort going through to get her daughter to the house, and everything goes off, you know, as planned. You know, nothing crazy there. You know, nothing bad happens. But it's a funny movie. It's another good, wholesome Christmas movie, and I always make sure I watch it every year. So coming in at number 8, it's going to be Dr. Seuss, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the Jim Carrey. I believe it's 2000, I believe it was. Yeah. I love the cartoon. The cartoon is definitely a staple, but I'm not doing like shorts. I'm doing like feature-length films here for this ranking. But Dr. Seuss's Grinch with Jim Carrey in it. Jim Carrey does a great job as the Grinch. I mean, pretty flawless in my opinion. It stays close to that original story, but adding in different things to make it feature-length, and it works out. You know, the lore of Whoville with Christmas time and why that's so special to them. And it really ties in the meaning of Christmas throughout the movie too, and to the end. We get that, you know, the Grinch, he sees a light, he grows a heart, you know, and saves the day after he stole Christmas the night before. And, you know, I've always liked it since I was a kid up until now. It's a Christmas staple for me. And, you know, there's really not a whole lot more to say about it because, you know, if you've seen The Grinch and you've seen this movie, I mean, it is pretty much the same as the story, just with some more fluff to it, and that fluff makes it a lot better, in my opinion. Jim Carrey as the Grinch, again, does a great job. Coming in at number 7 is going to be A Christmas Story. So I know a lot of people probably get bored of this or tired of this every year on Christmas because it's played on like every single TV channel. Trust me, I'm like the same way. I'll watch it once all the way through, maybe catch the first half of the second playing, and then I'm just catching bits and pieces throughout the day. But this movie has been a huge part in my family at Christmas time. Ever since I can remember, it's always been a movie that it's like a must watch, needs a, we need to watch it on Christmas and even before. And it's just always stuck with me. I love Ralphie. I love, his parents. I love his friends. I love the whole story, the atmosphere. And especially the one thing that I love is when he wakes up on Christmas morning. It's that white Christmas. It's a fresh snow and everything. And that just brings back a lot of nostalgia for me because, I always love those mornings, even not on Christmas, waking up and you see the snow everywhere. And on Christmas, it was more magical like it was portrayed in A Christmas Story. But then you get a lot of the comedy in there, like the leg lamp and Ralphie saying fudge and not fuck and things like that. So, yeah, and you'll shoot your eye out, the whole Red Ryder BB gun, and just a lot of classic, like I think it was late 40s vibes, early 50s vibes into it too. Just a great overall movie. And yes, I know it gets tiring when it's played all day on Christmas, but watch it once all the way through. It's such a great movie, great Christmas movie. And maybe A Christmas Story Christmas will get into my top 10 eventually, but it's not there yet. So, yeah, Christmas Story, that is number 7. So coming in at number 6 is going to be The Santa Claus. Now, The Santa Claus is another movie that I really enjoyed as a kid. Kind of lost track of, throughout growing up in probably until maybe 4 or so years ago, maybe a little more, maybe 6, when this started being played a lot on Freeform's 25 Days of Christmas. And I kind of got back into the Santa Claus movies. And, Tim Allen's character, he's just kind of like the perfect Santa Claus in a sense, with his acting skill, his sense of humor, and his style that he brings to the character and just to the movie overall. I love how it's, Charlie, his son, wants everybody to know so bad that he's Santa Claus and no one believes him. Everybody thinks that, Charlie is, just being taken advantage, or not taken advantage of, being misbelieved by his dad and all this stuff that's going on. So yeah, the Santa Claus, it's a great Christmas story, and it kind of teaches kids a little bit more about adult life too, with the whole clause and contract, and does bring some business aspects into it as well. So it's a very family-friendly, fun movie. It's funny, it's serious at times, and it tells the meaning of Christmas all the way throughout, in my opinion. So that's number 6 is The Santa Claus. Now coming in at number 5, now these top 5 movies that I'm about to go through here, actually, I shouldn't say that. I was going to say these top 5 movies are like must for Christmas, but honestly, this whole list is must for me. But coming in at number 5 is going to be Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. It's not as good as the first one. To me, it doesn't have the magic that the first one gave you, but I love the whole Christmas New York City vibe. I love that Kevin, once again, is in a bad spot. He's in, he got left alone, and it's a whole different setting. It's a whole city of New York. Harry and Marv are back, broke out of jail. They went to New York City, and their paths cross with Kevin, and, it goes from there. Kevin does find a house to set all of his traps up, and that's always, that's a great part of the movie, of course. Seeing Harry and Marv get messed up from all of his traps, and all the traps are, for the most part, different, except I think for the paint cans. But yeah, all the traps are original and fun. And yeah, and it's just, I've always loved that movie because it's like, especially when I was a kid, it's like, you're alone in New York. You got this whole big hotel to yourself. You get a limo. You go to a toy store. I always love how he gets in the limo too. He's got the pizza and he fills up the wine glass or champagne glass with Coca-Cola. He's watching The Grinch. Like, there's just so much cool scenery and vibe to Home Alone 2. And again, it still centers around the meaning of Christmas, especially at the end. When Kevin thinks, he finally beats the bad guys. He thinks all hopes is lost, though, because his family's never going to come back. He's all alone. He's on Christmas. His mom coming to get him again. She finally finds him, and it's all love. And then the next morning, they get the presents from Duncan's toy chest, because Kevin saved Duncan's toy chest from being robbed. So they get all those presents, and then Kevin gets in trouble for running up a almost $1,000 room service bill on his dad's credit card, which is always funny too. But yeah, Home Alone 2, great Christmas movie. Doesn't have the same magic as the first one, but still a funny movie, and definitely is a Christmas classic. Coming in at number 4, it's going to be Gremlins. Yes, Gremlins is, for me, it is a must-watch no matter what on Christmas. I normally do that the week of Christmas. I'll throw in Gremlins. It's a great horror comedy Christmas movie. Doesn't really center on like the true meaning of Christmas or anything like that, but the Christmas atmosphere is there throughout the movie. You got Gizmo and his Santa hat. The Gremlins, of course, their little bastard selves, and it's just a fun movie. It can be scary at times. When I was little, I was actually scared of that movie, but as I've gotten older, I just learned to love the comedy aspect of it and enjoy the Christmas atmosphere. Especially that opening when they do the whole Christmas song at the beginning, and it shows I forget the name of the town, but it shows their town, and it's all in snow, and then they goes through Christmas decorations and all that stuff. So yeah, it's just a fun horror Christmas movie, and I love horror, and I love creature features, and Gremlins is always going to be up there. It was a really well done movie, and I hope that they bring Gremlins back on the big screen soon. So that is number 4. So number 3 is going to be Die Hard. So Die Hard, I guess it is a Christmas classic. I have always felt that way ever since in my teenage years at least, all the way up till now. When I was younger, I did not associate this movie with Christmas at all. I just thought it was a badass action flick, which it is. But no, I mean, it's centered around Christmas. There's a lot of Christmas comments and atmosphere, and things like that. But, it shows, John McClane, he is doing the right thing. He is going to save the day, and, he doesn't want anybody to ruin his Christmas trip coming out to see his wife, who kind of left him. So he's trying to save that, and nothing's going to get in his way to save his family and save everybody else. But yeah, I mean, it's a classic. It is a hands down one of the greatest movies ever made, in my opinion. It is, for the most part, it's up there as a perfect movie. And with it being centered around Christmas, with the Christmas vibe to it, it's a Christmas movie. And since it's so good on its own, and with Christmas being involved in it, that's why it's number 3 on my list. For the most part, like, I could probably put this all the way back to 5 if I wanted to. That's how this is how this list can change. Like, the first, then my 1 and 2, those are locked. Those aren't going anywhere. But 5, 4, and 3, I could change those up anywhere. That's just how close they are. I love all three of those movies. I guess we could even do 6 with the Santa Claus, but we'll leave that at 6. But yeah, Die Hard. It's a classic, and it's a Christmas movie, so watch it. So number 2 is going to be Home Alone. Home Alone is a movie that I always loved as a kid. I would watch it even not on Christmas or around Christmas. I'd watch it throughout the year because that's how much I love the movie. I loved Kevin McAllister as a kid. I love the traps, the comedy, the whole cinematography, the atmosphere, just everything about this movie I love. There is really no flaws that I see in this movie to pick on. There just really aren't. And, it shows how Kevin wants his family gone so bad he can't stand them because of what happens at the beginning of the movie. He finally gets his wish after they forget when they're going to Paris. They forget Kevin at home. And they finally realize Kevin, so they're trying to, his mom, dad, family, they're all trying to, get back home. Well, at least his mom is. His mom flies back to America pretty much the same day that she got there to get Kevin. But while Kevin's at home, he's doing everything a kid would dream of, being home alone, and thinking they have no rules, nobody to tell them no, and things like that. So I love the little montage they do of him jumping on the bed, eating popcorn, going through his brother's stuff, just doing all kinds of stuff that he normally wouldn't be able to do. And then as the movie goes on, he gets prepared for Marv and Harry to come through, and he tricks them, he beats them, and then at the end he wants nothing more than his family to come back, and decorates for Christmas, wakes up the next morning hoping his family was going to be there. They're not, but a few minutes later, here comes his mom, and the rest of his family comes in, and it's just a very wholesome moment, and again shows the kind of true meaning of Christmas there, family, joy, love, those sorts of things, being thankful. And also too, kind of like with A Christmas Story, I love how he wakes up that morning and it's a white Christmas with fresh snow coming down and all around. I just love that look. It brings back a lot of nostalgia for me. Now, coming in at number 1, my favorite Christmas movie of all time is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. From day one when I saw this when I was a kid, it just hooked me. I've laughed so many times so hard at this movie over and over. It just doesn't get old. Now, again, I can't watch it all throughout the year, but I'm getting ready to watch it. I'm going to try to abstain until closer to Christmas to watch this movie, so I'm going to try to ignore it when it's on TV, because I just want to get that just kind of release onto this movie. I just love the characters. I love the comedy. Chevy Chase does a great job with his Clark Griswold. I think this is best portrayal of Clark, in my opinion. I like I think the kids in this one are my favorite because they were all different from the first Vacation, European Vacation. Pretty sure they were different in those two movies, and then with Christmas Vacation they were different. But so I like the kids better in this one than Vacation and European Vacation. The whole family coming over, Cousin Eddie, of course, the shitter's full, all that stuff. It's just such a fun time, and it shows how crazy the holidays can be and how nothing's ever going to go perfect, no matter how much you want the holidays and Christmas to be perfect, especially when all your family's involved. It's just unfortunately not going to be that, but don't take it too seriously. Enjoy the good times. Do what makes you happy, because at the end, they are your family. You love your family. Christmas time is supposed to be about joy and love, and you can have fun as well. So enjoy the little things. Enjoy Christmas as a whole, and have fun with it. And that's really what I get from Christmas Vacation, the meaning of it at least. Even with the slapstick comedy, the dumb things that happen and all that stuff, sometimes cringeworthy moments, But it shows, don't worry about work too much. Work's not always going to be fun. Bad things are going to happen, and wrong things are going to occur because of your frustration and things not going right. And just take it easy, have fun, and enjoy the time. So yeah, Christmas Vacation will always be my favorite, and yeah. So that's my top 10, guys. Comment yours down below. I hope you guys liked the video. If you do, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for more. I'm going to do a little more Christmas stuff as we go through the month here. But I want to start this out with my top 10. Start out December with that. And yeah, so have a great day, everybody. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. And see you soon.